Deserves a second chance, even video games. Welcome to the Second Opinion Podcast, where the reviews aren't always right, but we are. We're here to give you the gaming takes you didn't know you needed. We've been deep in the gaming world for 17 plus years, covering all the news, releases, and drama in the gaming world, and having a damn good time while doing it. Just because some website gave a game a low score doesn't mean it's a fail in our book. We're all about giving games that second chance, diving back in where others quit. And we should probably tell you that we're real and we're very loud and opinionated, and 90% of the time we're completely off topic. But that's why you'll love us. This is your Second Opinion. Now, here are your hosts, Toaster, Soleb, and Bolts.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another edition of the Second Opinion Podcast.
What, bro? What's up, dog?
Oh, man. We are joined by the three bald men, bald-bearded men of the Bald-Bearded Council. I am Celeb, joined by Toaster McGee, and also Bolt.
Yo, it's Bolts.
I don't know where you were going with that.
I don't know.
He doesn't know where he was going with it.
The three balded men, bearded council.
He blacked out midway through the sentence and then was like,
I did. I was like, where are we?
The New England brewing start to a brewery looks like in New England.
Right.
So on this episode of the Second Opinion Podcast, we'll be talking about our best non-horror horror games, Activision's recent strike, a ton of Assassin's Creed games coming soon, and much more. But before we get into that, we're going to talk about what have we been gaming. Now, since Bolts has been...
I thought it was anal. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. What is this in the front of the camera? What is this?
Voltron.
This is... thank you.
What is it?
It's
Oh, I'm sorry.
Come on.
I see it now. Get it out from in front of your face.
Dude, I'm building Legos, bro.
Okay,
Leave me alone.
I'm fine with that. So, Bolts, we're going to get into what have we been gaming, and nothing.
That's fucking cute as hell.
Nothing.
Y'all game? Is that what y'all do?
Yes.
I heard you got a new sim called Baby.
Yeah. That's real life sim right there. Yeah, I haven't played much of anything. I mean, I rarely ever touch the system anymore. Actually, I haven't touched my PlayStation. I don't know how many weeks. And I dove into Black Ops 6 for a little bit, but haven't really played anything. What I'm really pissed off about is I got a new S24 Plus Pro, whatever Samsung phone, whatever it is.
Uh-huh.
And I can't play Elder Scrolls Legends, which pisses me off.
Why?
It won't load at all. At all, it won't load.
You've deleted it a million times.
137 times.
Sometimes they're just not compatible, and it's
I know.
shitty as hell. Because I can play. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. It was just it's the one mobile game that I play really religiously, and I can no longer play it, and I don't even know if I want my cell phone anymore.
They brought Magic, to mobile. We can play.
Yeah,
Magic.
But Magic is listen, Magic was great when it first came out, and now it's got all kinds of dumb shit that you have to deal with. And
what about Hearthstone?
Hearthstone it's okay. It's okay. Not my big cup. Listen, Legends was the best. I don't care what anybody says. It was.
May I make
Go
a
ahead.
suggestion?
Yes, you may.
Vampire Survivors.
Listen, I've been hearing some decent things about that, and
it's the
Is
best.
it on mobile or?
Oh yeah, it's coming to mobile. It's the most fun you're gonna have with the thumbstick. That's it. It's just one hand.
Okay. Yeah,
and it's super addictive, and especially like once you find the right like weapon and character combination, oh god, everything dies very colorfully. I might add, and it's just, like I actually use it sometimes to calm down when I have a panic attack, believe it or not. So it's
Well, there you go. But other than that, I haven't really played anything. I pretty much have. I'm done playing Outlaws. I got bored with it rather quickly, more than I thought I would.
Okay. I mean, that's understandable.
So, yeah,
it's not everybody's.
Yeah. But other than that, man, I really haven't played much of anything, unfortunately. So.
All right, Toaster. What about you?
Liven up the podcast, Toaster.
Please God, no.
So you guys would be amazed to hear I actually played some Black Ops 6.
Wow.
Yeah,
it does amaze me.
Yeah, I figured I'd give the campaign a shot and see how.
Campaign's pretty great.
That's what I'm hearing. Like I'm hearing really good things about the campaign, and yeah, I just need another shooter to play besides Destiny. I just can't, because I mean they laid off so many people. And it's like this vicious cycle, because if I don't play the game, they're going to lay off more people, and then I'm going to feel even
exactly
more.
Right. You're like, son of a bitch.
God, Sony.
God, Sony. I'm going to say that as like an audio bit.
But honestly, it's I'm trying to get through the story on Vessel of Hatred. I think I'm very close. And of course, The War Within. Been playing with Skelly, a name from the past, and the Marksman.
Yes.
And so that's some fun times. And me and good old Dunny McGee started an honor mode playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3.
Okay.
So I am fully prepared to get my face punched in.
Okay. Well, I've been playing a lot. I've been my review for Sonic Genesis Cross Shadows Genesis is coming soon. Pleasantly surprised with that game. I've never really played Sonic Genesis before. And then I of course, I got the review opportunity of playing this, and I was honestly really shocked. Like, Shadow is a super badass in that game, and I've had a good chunk of time in with the game so far. I've been playing that. Also, I've been playing. I've been playing a lot of Madden. With Jared. Constant battles back and forth. He's been whooping my ass, but I got to say today, big shout outs to Bolts' team. We decided to play Madden 22, and I played with the 2021-2022 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I shut my boy down, man. I shut him down. It was the third quarter, and I was beating him 20-0, and he had the Baltimore Ravens. So I'm not going to lie. Tom Brady is kind of a beast in 22, man. Oh, my God.
Yes, he is.
Man, that dude was throwing some bullets. But I've been playing that. Also have gone back and played some Rage 2, which super underrated game. I'm telling you guys, if you get a chance to play it, very huge open world craziness.
Yes,
and I'm gonna say this: it looks even better than ever on the current generation of consoles. Like, it looks really good on PS5. Like, I was almost shocked. It looks really, really good. So if you get a chance and you're just looking for something different, check out Rage 2. It's a really, really great game. Also, lastly, of course, because of the Fortnite pack, I've been playing through some Fortnite with Jared and Dara. because we recently got Dara a PS5. So we are now a 2 PS5 household. And we also been playing a little bit of New World of Tournament as well. So I've been gaming it up. Because my children
good.
Children are old enough to take care of themselves. No, I'm just kidding. They can do their own thing. Go in there and make your own food. Get out of my office. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, when they're 16 and shit like that, it's pretty damn great, bro.
Yeah. Like they're at the point now. What's cool is that they're at the point now of like learning so much stuff and soaking so much stuff in. Dante, I've recently like split my office with Dante, so like he has his own space back here.
Hey, speaking of that, did you sell a bunch of your shit to Game Exchange?
I did. You see everything in there,
bro. Listen, I walked through because I don't ever go to Game Exchange. I have no reason to,
and
I walked through. I was walking with Kane just down up the strip mall and shit like that, and I walked into Game Exchange. I was like. And then I looked on the floor. I saw the big ass Cyberpunk dome. I said, "That son of a bitch."
Yeah. I had to dial it down, man. It was just too much stuff, bro. It was like it was to the point that like I literally had to spend 15 to 20 minutes of just dusting statues before I took them up there.
I know, bro.
It was just too much. So
I know.
I still have so much stuff. Like, but I went from 5.5 bookshelves of stuff down to 3.
Yeah.
So, and I actually am using a bookshelf for books now. So,
no,
crazy, right? So crazy.
What?
So
You're using a bookshelf
for books.
For books.
Not so. So we're doing a late a late podcast today because tomorrow is Halloween. Hey, by the way, how was the Pagan Pride Festival?
I will say this: if you go to it, you definitely need to go closer to the nighttime. We got there about 4 or 5 o'clock, and there was some stuff going on, and some really interesting characters.
Yeah.
But I could probably tell you the closer it got to nighttime, the more live it got. So,
awesome.
But what we experienced was awesome.
Awesome, man.
Yeah,
glad
bro.
y'all had a good time.
Yep.
But yeah, so Halloween is right around the corner. It's tomorrow. I'm excited of taking the kids out trick or treating and doing.
Are you going to take them out during the daytime or nighttime? Don't be a douchebag.
I think we're gonna go out at about 5:30. That's what, bro. Listen, that's for trunk or treat. We're doing that, and then
yeah, and the disgusting part of Halloween, trunk or treat.
I'm just doing it because they get me great candy. So, anyways, dude, listen, I gotta say this. There's a girl that supposedly told Amara today at school. My family told me that. Eating candy is sign. What the fuck did she say? Something like, my family told me that when you eat candy on Halloween, you're signing your soul to the devil. And I was like, the girl is wrong. She doesn't know what she's talking about. And Amar's like, why would she say that? And I said, because her family is not right in the head. But I wanted to say they're fucking idiots.
That's exactly what I would have told her. I said, don't listen to people like that. And I'm not a believer in the Sky Daddy and all them. But people's beliefs are people's beliefs. So
Sky Daddy, wow.
Yeah, the Sky Daddy. But people's beliefs are people's beliefs. Don't be doing dumb shit to people. That shit pisses me off,
bro. Crazy. But anyway, so like I said, Halloween's right around the corner, and on today's second opinion segment, we're going to talk about our most non-horror horrifying games. So since I'm
none of them are scary. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm going to go first.
Yeah, I should go last.
You have one, and it was agony. Usually I show all these videos and stuff like that during this moment. I'm
Listen.
not going to do that.
Listen. The meat flesh penis in Agony was the best part of the whole damn game. Yes, because it's first person. So you're just a meat sack. That's all you are. No skin, nothing, muscles shown, and you're walking around. You can look down and see your feet, and if you go left or right, you see your meat flesh penis. Just
God, it's horrible. Jesus Christ. All right, so first off, Max Payne. So the first time I ever played Max Payne, it was a terrifying experience for me. I'm not gonna lie. I did not I knew that the game was intense and it was a shooter and stuff like that, but that whole first scene of walking in and his his wife and his kid have been killed. And all this shit, and it's all warped. There's times still in the game that it's like psychological fucked up shit that happens, and at that right there, it really fucked with me. I was like, man, this is crazy as shit. I'm playing it late at night, and I'm like, oh my God. But it was one of those classic games that just kind of got me right out the bat. Next up was Half-Life. So
the crab heads.
Man, the crab head.
The crabs.
Holy shit. Everybody was talking about it. Everybody at school was talking about it, how amazing the game was. Of course, I'm like, I've got to check it out. I actually got to play my brother's copy at the time. He had it on PC, and I was just like, fuck this game. This is horrible. This is horrifying. I'm going to have nightmares for weeks. It just really, I don't know, man. It just threw me off. It was a really terrifying game. Another game, of course, that scared the fuck out of me that I did not think was going to scare me because everybody just talked about how amazing of a shooter it was when it first released was BioShock. Of course, it came out on the 360 first, and then whenever I got around, I played it on a 360, but I played it a little bit further in because of a previous save that I think my brother or somebody had. I don't really even know. But by the time I sat down and actually played it by myself for the first time, I was like, holy fuck, this game is crazy. The little sisters, the big daddies, the, psychotic members of Rapture. It was a truly horrifying experience that is, has gone down, of course, as one of the best games ever made.
Yes.
I don't know about you guys, but,
Yeah.
Hey,
pretty okay.
Watch that nod. Okay.
Hey.
Watch that nod, you monk. Fallout 3. There were some moments in Fallout 3 that just had I did not really expect to kind of give me jump scares, but there's nothing more terrifying than being like, okay, I got a really good setup, I got good weapons, good armor, and turn around and there's a huge fucking death claw running at you at full fucking speed. Nothing worse.
You turn around, it's waving.
All right, hey, I'm coming for you. It's horrible.
You think Arse the Clown's bad?
Yeah, try a death claw.
It's nice.
I would probably say last would be Minecraft. So,
I'm terrified of Minecraft as well.
Minecraft?
It sounded like that's what you said was Minecraft.
Minecraft. It's a new game, new mod for Minecraft. I'm like, run! So the worst thing in Minecraft is, of course, it's a survival game. But the worst thing, of course, is nighttime. And there's so many times, the first time me and Dara really got into it, I mean, we really got into that shit. We were sitting up playing it late at night, doing our little things, excavating, trying to get as much coal as we possibly can. And to turn around and see an Enderman or, building up a house and seeing a fucking creeper standing right behind you.
It's the worst. He's like,
it's the worst. He's like, and the worst thing is almost every time they turn real slow and they're like, It's like, oh, okay, you're about to blow up, huh? So it's a horrifying thing. But Toaster, what's on your list, man?
So I didn't really have any non-horror games. I had horror moments in games that weren't supposed to be horror games.
Okay.
And for me, the biggest one is Halo 2.
Okay.
The first time the floods show up.
Yeah.
Because you're like sitting, you're used to fighting those aliens, the little grunt guys, you're used to like kicking them across the map.
Yeah.
And you're just like chilling and you're going to the underground, and then you're like, what in the Cthulhu is this horseshit?
What
and
is
yeah,
that?
I mean, it's just like so much ammo I would waste just spray and pray, because you're like, where the fuck did those come from?
Yeah.
It was out of place for what you were used to fighting in the Halo universe.
Yeah.
And then it got even crazier with like the Grave Mind and all that jazz. Like, I have completely lost track of the Halo storyline. I don't know.
I
don't know if he's cloned. Is he Han Solo in secret? Like, I don't know. Second on my list is Diablo.
Okay.
And the reason for that is because I was raised as a good Irish Catholic boy.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. Anyway. I'm sorry, Doom, not Diablo. Doom.
Okay. Doom.
Like, that's the first time you really saw a game where I was like, and you're just like, okay, you're just gonna be, all right. I'm gonna go to hell for playing this game.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's a horrifying game. Still,
like some of the imagery in the trilogy too, like even the early stuff, like got real crazy, and you're just like, what the fuck?
Yep.
Like, I'm not comfortable here.
What is happening?
It's like the first time a friend of mine put on like an Emperor CD in the car I was in with him when I was in Florida, and I was like, I'm like, wow. Like, I'm listening to the music, and I'm like, wow, these guys are really talented. I mean, it sounded awesome. You had these massive crushing distortion guitars with the orchestra going on behind it.
Right.
It sounded cool. And then the dude started singing, and I was like,
I
gotta go.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I've listened to Black Sabbath and Judas Priest and Iron Maiden, but there's a line, and you are
crossing it
beyond. You've chosen a road I can't follow you down.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, and then Diablo, really, because some of that, like the imagery of the Diablo series has just gotten more and more hardcore throughout the years.
Really,
but I mean, the original Diablo, when you were in hell in that game, you felt like you were in hell. And they did such a great job with the lighting in the original. Like, you couldn't do anything to brighten those corners. You had to walk over there, and God knows what was sitting there in the shadow. Because all of a sudden you're like, oh, I did a monster.
That's so true, bro.
They've continued that too. I mean, the commercials for Diablo 4 just looked like they were gonna, like somebody was making a new Hellraiser movie.
Yeah.
And then you saw the trailer for Vessel for Hatred, and you were like, so Hellraiser 3?
Yeah.
Especially when you're watching like Narelle get her arms torn off and turned into ligaments. You're just like, that sucks for you.
Yeah.
Like, that looks uncomfortable. And then last on my list,
look at this. Hold up. I'm sorry. But look at this shit.
Oh, look, it's Dave from HR.
I mean, that itself is just horrifying. I don't know. I just had to share that.
And lastly, this is a shout out to my wife, Majora's Mask.
Majora's Mask.
I have never played the game. I've just heard tales that my wife has told me. Mrs. Toaster has told me about some of the weird shit that got introduced to Majora's Mask. And then the first time I saw the mask, I was like, that's a kid's game?
Yeah.
That's a lot of kids going to bed with a nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I think Halo 2 for me is always going to stand out. Like, just the first, like, anytime you have an overwhelming force introduced like that in a video game, and it's just like you see them all running at you, and you're just like, oh shit.
Yeah. I agree. So Bolts.
What?
She say what to me like that?
Okay, so So this is why I go last. Okay. I'm a big horror movie guy. So I've watched everything from Zombievers.
Bro, listen to me.
Did you watch Cocaine Bear?
Zombievers is one of the craziest fucking movies I have ever seen in my life. Oh my God. Please. If you get a chance, watch that movie.
Did you watch Cocaine Bear?
Yes, I did. It was great. It was absolutely great.
I want to watch it just because of the EMT dude.
Listen, highly entertained, bro. Highly entertaining. But okay, so I don't have a list of games that scared me because, like I said, I grew up on horror movies from Friday the 13th to Michael Myers to, and of course, my favorite cult classic of all time is Hellraiser. You know, Chatterbox and Pinhead. They're just good stuff. Good stuff. So my stuff is more of like creepy to suspense thrilling.
Okay.
For instance, like Little Nightmares. The anxiety of Little Nightmares is just yeah, you can't run very fast. You're just like, you know, you got these creepy massive just beings that want to eat. It's just, you know,
the first time I played Little Nightmares too, like I knew that it was like possibly going to be something kind of weird, but I didn't know that like it was going to be so strange. I didn't realize that it was going to be.
Man, it was just off the charts. Two other side-scrolling games. Limbo was one of them.
Yeah.
And there's another one that recently came out, probably in the past year or two, called Inside.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So yeah, definitely on those. You know, and of course, you know, you got your Diablo, and I can sit here and say, you know, PT and Amnesia and the first Resident Evil and stuff like that. Those were more jump scares than anything.
Yeah.
But I will say this: when I was real young, and my stepfather Bill, when he was into PC gaming, the first Quake was a psychological meltdown for me because, and the biggest thing that got me at such a young age were the background noises more than anything.
Oh yeah.
You know, the babies crying in the background, being tortured and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Resner.
Yeah.
yeah, no shit, right? So at a young age, Quake, I didn't play Quake when I was little because of that alone. The psychological of the babies and shit like that being crying, and I ain't got time for all that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't. Like I said, I don't have much of horror games because I don't play actually much of horror games because they don't do anything for me. I've never played Outlast. I've never played The Evil Within. None of that because it's just. I mean, I've watched so much. I've, you know, desensitized myself to the stuff, and it doesn't do anything for me.
Maybe they need to make a Hellraiser game.
Yeah, Clive Barker made one.
He did make a Hellraiser game.
It was called, I think it was called Jericho or something like that.
Oh man.
No, what's it called, Jericho? I can't remember what it was, but it was actually it was bad and good at the same time. You got to switch between like 5 or 6 different playable characters during the game, and they each had their own special power and stuff like that. Like my favorite character, I forget her name. She was a chick, but she would slit her wrist right there on screen.
Wow. Yeah.
She would slit her wrist, and there'd be a blood clot that would pop up, and it would freeze all the enemies in the area.
Yeah, bro.
So yeah.
Man, I totally forgot about Jericho.
Yep.
Man, that was such a wild fucking game.
Yeah. You know, it wasn't a very good game itself, but some of the mechanics and the gameplay and stuff like that were pretty great.
They were really great, if I can remember. And
that chick right there.
The biggest thing about that game too, I believe, is the storytelling of that game. like the story arc of that game and the wild, crazy shit that that Clive Barker put into that title was really, really crazy.
Yes, it was.
Which there were other Clive Barker games that came out, or there was one other one that came out, and I think it came out on PC, and it was called Clive Barker's Undying.
Yep.
And it was kind of themed around like a Doom-esque type feel.
Yeah.
Man, dude, I forgot about Jericho. Wow. Holy shit, Bolts. You just blew my mind, man. Clive Barker's Jericho. It was supposed to be like, I remember when this was announced, dude, like everybody was fucking excited. Man, and it turned out very mediocre.
Yeah, very mediocre. Like I said, it definitely had its good spots, but it was very mediocre.
Yeah. So, speaking of upcoming horror games and just horror games in general, a new horror game from former Rockstar devs has been officially revealed. Vertpaint Studios, a new development team made up of former Rockstar employees, has revealed a teaser for its debut game, Ritual Tides. So, Ritual Tides has been announced by, of course, as I just said, former Rockstar devs. And there's not really much to go on at this point in time with what the game is kind of loosely based around. I know that it was first revealed via IGN. It said Vertpaint Studios has shared a debut title, Ritual Tides, which will transport players into a terrifying Lovecraftian world in which they must discover the details of a gruesome narrative. Set on a remote island, players will have to uncover the land's terrifying secrets while battling grotesque enemies and lurking dangers.
It's too.
And it says that here it will have near photorealistic environments.
Cool.
And it says that it is coming to PC in the third quarter of 2025. There's ads up on the screen. That's my bad. So let's start with you, Toaster. I don't know. I mean, with new games in general, I always, of course, I'm always enthusiastic. But outside of just, outside of this game being announced, do you have any type of enthusiasm about projects like this? Or,
it's cool to have them, reveal that they are working on something.
Yeah.
But I mean, at this early in the development stage and everything, this is just kind of like announcing the starting lineup of a game. Like
True.
Sports game, basically.
Yeah.
Like, cool. There's a lot of people that know how to make video games involved in this game, and they've given us fancy pictures. Yay.
True, man. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, it's cool that they announced it, but, there's no reason at this point to even have a hype level to it, because it's simply just, hey, Bob, Joe, and Dave, and Carrie, and Jen are working on this game. Like, okay, well, good luck.
Yeah, exactly. What about you, Bolts? I mean, you agree with what Toaster says?
Yeah, for the most part. It's just, yeah, I mean, there's not much else to add to that point. I mean, there's just,
I mean, of course, when it's the kind of bait and switch thing. Okay. Mm-hmm. So of course you hear Rockstar devs, ex-Rockstar devs, and you're like, they worked on Grand Theft Auto. So you kind of you think, oh man, they worked on Grand Theft Auto, so I wonder how good this game is going to be, especially with it being a horror game.
Like Grand Theft Auto doesn't elicit horror.
Yeah. So like it's something that, it's that thing that I'll just state it in the best possible way. You know, we are Second Opinion. You know, this article was done through Game Rants, and it was, you know, it's the title itself is just more or less, you know, it kind of cuts down to that whole like putting this in there. It's going to make people click on it. You know what I'm saying? But it's not, you know, nothing against the writer that wrote this, but that's the type of news probably that was fed out. You know, former Rockstar devs are working on this game, you know, so cool, but you know,
the development cycle is so long now. Like, there's no use in getting worked up. Like, I mean, I got worked up when they showed like the 2 seconds of a reflection of like Shepard's left nostril.
Yeah.
So now it's Mass Effect 5, and there hasn't been like really anything other than BioWare going, "Yeah, we're still working on it."
Yeah.
You know, and the one dude, Mike Gamble, to come out and be like, "We're not reinventing anything like they did with Veilguard." Which, can we talk about that for a second? Yeah.
Let's say this to end this topic, and then we'll go into the whole off the script thing. I think that there's of course there's always a great opportunity for these development studios to break off from games that they've worked on for so long and make something really great. I know that some CD Projekt Red devs are of course working on Dawnbreaker, and it's it's supposed to be this type of survival third person action adventure, and that's cool, man. That's awesome. But anytime we hear news like this, of course we want to let you guys know. But you kind of have to kind of nip it in the bud pretty early and realize, yes, the game is supposed to come out in 2025. Depending on how long they've been working on this game, the game could hopefully launch in 2025, or it could get pushed off. Who really knows? We've seen a lot of that shit recently.
When's the last time a game studio made an ambitious game announcement and it released when they initially, when the first time they said, not like the 6 months down the road, we're like, well, it's still 2025, but like December 31st, 11:59.
Yeah, exactly. So, Toaster, what did you want to say about Veilguard?
People just need to either buy the game or don't buy the game and shut up about it.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, we had one of our own write an amazing review of the game.
Big shout out to Becky.
Yeah, they loved it. They had nothing but good things to say about the game. And I read it. It's a great review. I started watching some of the hate videos, though, and it's just like, it's just whining about shit to whine about, man. Yeah. Like, it's everything from, the go woke, go broke comments because somebody can't handle the fact that somebody else can make a character that they might enjoy playing and not get stuck with a singular character model.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing that drives me nuts about these people. Like, I can't believe you can do a character you can be non-binary. You don't have to make the character non-binary. You can make the character whoever you want to make the character be. That's the point of the character creator, you dumbass.
Yeah.
Yep.
And hey, it's from, what? It's not Dragon Age. It's not Origins. It's not Inquisition. It's not even 2.
Yeah.
Nope.
It's its own thing. And games evolve. And, as long as the writers at BioWare have written a good story, which from the sound of the review, they did, I'm going to check it out.
Yeah.
But, just stop hating on shit. Just to hate on shit, man. Like, it gets you clicks, okay. But you're, railing against the dumbest and, frankly, a shrinking hill to die on, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah.
90% of us out there that play video games don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Video games are supposed to be fun for everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody should have the same joy that a white male dude has playing a video. Everybody should have the same level of making the game, playing a character you want to play. It's it's just so frustrating, and it's the same group of fucking idiots.
It's the same group. Go ahead, Bolts.
Oh no, and we were probably fits ahead the same way. It's the same people that are bitching because I gotta play a female in Star Wars. I gotta play a female over here. I gotta And the sad part about it, one of the major, video game characters was Laura Croft. I mean, it's a female protagonist, So it's those people that just are so close-minded that ruin the video game world for other people. And this is Go ahead.
Don't forget the OG, Samus.
Yeah.
Exactly, 100%. So and unfortunately, and it's just the closed-minded. This is our escape from the real life that we live in.
Yeah.
And whatever the hell that we want it to be, who cares what you think, bro?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's down to the point now that it's not even complaints. It's not complaints. It's just bitching, bro. It's just straight up bitching because you didn't get what you want. I've seen it so many times on my recent reviews, on Becky's reviews, the people that have replied back to the Cinelinks Twitter page with "Go Woke or Broke" or this bullshit that they've replied back. I've had people that whenever I did my impressions on my hands-on impressions for Star Wars Outlaws, all these people were talking about how the game is fucking woke now and all this other shit. Just shut the fuck up, bro. Shut the fuck up. Stop bitching because you didn't get the game that you want, and understand that it is a wide variety of there's a wide variety of gamers out there, and there's a wide variety of studios out there that are going to make different experiences on a constant basis. This, from what I have read, this is one of the best BioWare games to come out since Mass Effect 2. That it's a great experience story-wise. It's a great experience gameplay-wise. It's visually stunning. So just shut up. Stop being ridiculous. Just like Michael Jordan said, stop what you're doing. Stop it. Think about what you're doing. And just understand that there's other people out there that have a difference of opinions than you do. And that's why we're the second opinion. And we're going to tell you straight to your face. Shut the fuck up.
Knock it off.
Stop your bitching.
Or make your own fucking game.
Make your own fucking game. Yeah, that's a good one right there.
And see how well it sells. Just go out there. Just go make Basement Dweller 5. I don't know what the fuck you want to call it.
I like that. I like that title.
5.
Basement Dweller 5.
And just see how, and I'm sure you'll sell some games because there's there's a little coalition of
Get some indie love. So Call of Duty Black Ops 6 QA staff has officially gone on strike. Activision staff responsible for the quality assurance of Call of Duty Black Ops 6 recently staged a walkout to protest the company's return to office policy. So Toaster, what do you think? What do you think about this?
I think these companies that are doing these whole return to office policies are being driven by the fact that there's a lot of real estate in cities and stuff that are office buildings that are currently not occupied.
Yeah.
So it's an income thing.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's nice to work. I mean, I work from home and I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
There are some benefits you could say to maybe going in once a week. If you're in an area, maybe to, just get bounce ideas off of each other or something like that.
Right.
But demanding, you can't. There are people that moved. There are people that sold homes. There were places where go to move to Oregon from Massachusetts or whatever. And then expecting, all of a sudden either a new CEO steps in or some new management person's like, nah, we should bring everybody back. Your workforce has proved that they can do their jobs remotely. Yeah. There's no need to force them back into work. Yeah. All that's going to do is just cause things like this, where your staff is going to walk out.
Yeah.
And what, you're going to bring a bunch of disgruntled people back in? They're going to leave for places that are going to say, yeah, you can work remotely, or, come in 2 days out of the week.
Yeah. It's actually something that I believe that Activision, that Amazon had just recently started back. While I was at the studio, I think they had said they were on a 3-day work week, and then Amazon had announced that there was a full return to the studio, so they were going back to a 5-day work week.
There's a lot of places that are coming under a lot of fire for doing that, like State Farm right now.
Yeah.
Amazon.
But I think you made a really good point, though, Toaster. I mean, I can understand in the business mindset of things as well. I can understand that we're looking at it from, of course, it would be great that, these development studios would be able to, of course, work from home, do the same job they're doing, be in a space that's more comfortable to them. But, these companies have poured money into development studios to where you don't have to do that, to where you have a hub of working with people in person, so I can understand that. I mean, it's like what you said, they've poured money into these studios. They poured money into the real estate of these studios. Some of these studios were built from the ground up, not just rented out from different buildings or different locations or whatever. So,
well, I mean, the other option too is to make it optional. You're gonna have people that will go into the office.
Yeah.
You're gonna have your I don't want to disparage anybody, but your worker bee mentality.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's gonna be people that don't work well in that environment, but work better in the quiet of their own office.
Yeah.
And I mean, it just goes back to my belief with a lot of things. Some things we don't discuss on this podcast, but there's always going to be someone that's going to abuse the system.
Yeah.
It's just that's just the simple fact of it. And once you get okay with that, and I'm not saying the point I'm trying to make is once you've just accepted that fact as a fact, you can feel either way about it, but it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And it becomes that much easier to understand, if you make things optional, the people that this will work for, it might take them a second to figure it out, because initially everybody's going to be like, well, I can work from home if I want.
Yeah.
And then a month or two in, there's going to be some people that are like, man, you know what? This environment's I'm not really as productive as I could be.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see those people come into the office. And then the people, like I said, that work better independently will be like, oh, okay, you need a meeting? Let's do a Zoom thing.
Yeah. I strongly believe that it doesn't matter. Listen, if work production is where it needs to be for your company, what does it honestly fucking matter?
Yeah. See, I agree with that.
If you can get, production, and production equals profit and revenue and stuff like that, who cares if I'm sitting in my lazy boy at the house doing what I need to do for your company, as long as I'm still making you money. And so at that point, it's completely redundant and irrelevant. And like Toaster said, there's people that want to get out of the house and go somewhere, and there will always be people like that. Toaster works from home. I'd rather be in the office, so it's just how it is. But the sad part about it, I can sit from my home and do my job.
Yeah,
I can dispatch my drivers and UPS from my home if I wanted to.
Yeah,
So as long as production is being met and quotas and all of these fucking numbers that all these corporations have are being met, what does it honestly matter?
I agree with both of you 100%. If it comes down to it, and you're looking at numbers, and your studios or whatever are doing what they're supposed to be doing, I really don't understand why it matters if these studios give people the option of going remote or going home. Now, I do understand in the perspective of Toaster brought up the point of revenue that they've poured into these office buildings. But, make it to where it's optional, like Toaster said. I mean, dude, the possibility of 100% of your studio or 100% of your workforce saying, okay, yeah, I'm going to do it from the house. I mean, there's a slim chance of that happening. You know what I'm saying?
The other thing with the expenditure thing, you're paying that money regardless.
Yeah.
If you're renting your building, you were in a rental contract. You're paying rent on that building, regardless if somebody's in there. You might as well save money by not having electricity on in there.
Yeah, exactly. Cut half the electricity off.
Right.
That's it.
In some cases, like the one thing I could possibly see with the studios though is the fact that it wouldn't surprise me if some of them have mini data centers on campus.
Yeah.
And that's not something that you can. Yeah. I mean, you're paying.
Yeah. Oh my God!
I don't understand why 6 months of production work went out the window. Oh, somebody flipped the switch on Warehouse 5.
Yeah. What's sad is that Toaster's had situations, I'm sure, that have popped up like that. Like, well, he did this, and you're like, why? Why did he do this? So moving on from that, Sony is officially shutting down more studios. It's been officially announced via SonyInteractive.com that Neon Koi and Firewalk Studios are the two latest studios to be shuttered. So Neon Koi was a studio that was mainly sourced around bringing mobile titles under the Sony branch to, of course, mobile devices. And Firewalk Studios was the studio that was behind Concord. And shockingly enough, people were shocked by this. I was not shocked by this, but I was saddened by it. I hate seeing studios being shut down, dismantled, and shuttered because of mismanagement. Is the best way I could really say it. I'm a Sony fan, just like Toaster. I love Sony. Yeah. Yeah. Let's say this.
I
enjoy Sony products like Toaster, like some of the games Toaster does.
used to have a well of joy for Sony, but
okay. But let me say it like this. I'm the same way now. There's more negative than there is positive a lot of times. And the biggest thing is that Concord to me is just, it's a shock. It's a to me, the fact that they sunk in $200 million into this project to launch it, and it had, somewhat underwhelming reviews, but there was still a fan base, still people out there that were playing the game. And then within a week of it coming out, them shut it down and then say, we're going to close it and reassess it and then go back to it. And then come out and say, well, we're just going to take it as a loss. That's nuts to me, bro. Investing millions like that, 200 million into a studio like this, and not giving them the opportunity to, of course, make something out of the mistakes of the poor management. You can't just blame it on the dev team, because
you cannot.
Because it obviously at a point in time, Sony took this as, from what reports have been saying, Sony looked at this, that this was going to be the next Destiny. This was going to be their Halo. This was going to be something that they had on a pipeline for years to come.
This looks
with
more
tons
like
of content. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, this was something that they were going to invest a lot of money and a lot of time into. So where did it fail? You have to think logically. When things like this fail, you cannot blame teams. You have to blame upper management. You have to blame the rush. You have to blame the fact that investors were so heavily invested into this ideology that this game was, when it launches, it's going to be a mega fucking hit. I don't know where it was lost in translation, that is something that was going to happen. But let me explain it in the simplest terms. When you launch a game as a straight multiplayer title at $39.99, which I believe is what the cost was when it came out, and don't have a clear pipeline of exactly what's going on, but have this utterly breathtaking cinematic experience that is showcased here, it is a confusion. It's a clusterfuck of confusion because when this cinematic trailer was first showcased, I was shocked afterwards to find out that it was just going to be a multiplayer game. I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh fuck, okay." So it's gonna be a multiplayer game that you're gonna be able to do like raids and shit in, or like you're gonna be able to like what is it about? And it's like, no, it's just a shooter.
Still talking about Conquered, or are you talking about Anthem?
I'm talking very similar. That's what I'm saying. Very similar. So it's like you don't really know, and it's sad because the team was really behind the idea that they were going to, of course, get another chance, but also the idea of what this game meant to them. And I feel like originally this game had a much broader aspect of what it ended up becoming at launch. So I don't know. What about you guys?
CEOs need to take a hit.
Yeah.
Like, there's the C-suite executives just need to not get paid as much as they do.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no reason that a game, like, I don't know, like these whatever expectations these companies are using to judge whether a game is successful or not, it's just numbers. It's not, they're not talking to the people that like the game. Wow. They're just looking at the numbers and the shareholders,
that's all they're doing, bro.
Like, calm down, bro. Like, relax. You're already well off. You're not gonna fucking die broke, you jackass. Just calm down. Yeah. Give the game time to simmer. It's the same thing with Netflix canceling series like Chaos.
Bro, weird. Right. Me and my wife were just talking about this. She just started watching Chaos, and I'm sitting in there watching it with her, and she's like, "Man, have you heard anything about the show?" And I'm like, yeah. It's sad that it's canceled. She was like, "What?"
Oh yeah, the show.
And I was like,
I said, yeah, tapped. It is so fucking tapped.
I said, yeah, it got canceled. And she was like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "They just announced it got canceled. See, like it's done." And she was like, "What the fuck?" And I said, "Why?" She said, "I really like this show."
I mean, you think about it when we were all kids and gaming.
Yeah.
How did you find out? It was word of mouth. It was my brother was playing. As a friend of mine in high school, it was, and yes, now you have the internet. Now you have marketing and TV shows, and it's all over 24/7. I get it, but there are people who are on the fence, like, and honestly, you're charging $70 for a video game now for a AAA title. $40 is pretty up there too for folks.
Mm-hmm.
And like we've got teasers, we've got these long development cycles where some things don't come to a fruition anymore. Level 13.
Yeah.
And this is
sad.
The expectations that the people who don't play video games are putting on the people that make video games are outrageous. And it's just, if you just let it simmer, the people that are going to buy the game right out the bat, they're going to buy the game right off the bat. They're going to, because like there are those people. Like, as much shit as I talk about Blizzard sometimes, in Blizzard I trust. To me, they haven't put out a game that I have not enjoyed. The Diablo franchise, I like Overwatch. I'm not good at it. I like Hearthstone. I'm not good at it. World of Warcraft, I've been playing for 20 fucking years now.
Yeah.
People will buy a game, and then people will get other people to play that game because we as human beings are social creatures, and we want other people to like the shit that we like.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you let it just if you Conquered probably could have drummed up a solid fucking fan base had Sony just sat back and went, just wait.
Yeah. What about Blackthorn?
Huh?
What about Blackthorn?
I'm not familiar with that game.
It was a Blizzard game. Came out in like the 90s.
I didn't start playing Blizzard games until like the Warcraft stuff.
Yeah, that's what I thought. No, I'm just kidding, bro.
Hold on. I think hold on. Something's growing. Dun, dun, dun.
Wasn't there a game? Hold up, let me look this up. Wasn't there a game?
Actually, you know what? I rescind that because of the painful admission I had to make on the last podcast.
What?
Starfield is not good.
What did you just say?
Star, STAR, Field, FIELD, is not good.
You know, the first game, that's what it was. The Lost Vikings.
Hey, that game's great.
It is. Yeah.
They had like Rock and Roll RC or something too.
I didn't realize the first game that Blizzard ever made was the death and return of Superman on Super Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
Never knew it. What is this? World of Warcraft Midnight? World of Warcraft The Last Titan. What is that?
Upcoming expansions, I think.
Oh, are they? Oh, yeah, they are. Yeah. Okay. Anyways.
And then there was like the first person shooter that was based on StarCraft, which is going to be like where you played a ghost.
Where you play as Kerrigan?
Yeah, something like that.
Yep.
Kerrigan, you played as a ghost.
Yes.
What is it?
That never. They were supposed to make one, and I think they started working on it, but it never took off.
Nope.
Like,
wow. Bolts, do you have anything else to say about that?
About what? No, I don't, bro.
Really?
I love you.
No, you don't.
What do you mean? Of course I love you. What are you talking about? Listen, if something ever happened to Dara and Dusty, you and I would just marry and live together.
True.
And
ship the kids off to boarding school.
That's right. I agree. So the last topic of the night. Ubisoft reportedly wants to release a new Assassin's Creed game every 6 months. Assassin's Creed is still a money-making behemoth, though, and reports from reliable insider Tom Henderson have claimed that Ubisoft plans on releasing 10 new Assassin's Creed games before 2030. What in the fuck?
No.
Is happening? They're reverting. That's the best way I can say it. They're reverting on the ideology that they did years ago of saying, oh, well, we're not going to bring out an Assassin's Creed game every year anymore. We're going to start bringing it out every other year. Give us time to work on the development and all this other stuff. Now they want to bring out a new Assassin's Creed game every 6 months. Like, what? I don't know. I mean, now,
okay,
mind you, that could be a split.
Now, let me
split. It could be mobile. It could be whatever. Maybe that's what they're talking about. But we'll start with you, Bolts.
Okay, so I'm on the fence about this because Assassin's Creed is definitely one of my top franchises. I love to play all the time. You know, I just downloaded Unity. I'm fixing to play that. I just got done playing through Black Flag, actually. So, definitely one of my favorite franchises. Now, I'm also a history buff. So, I love the aspect of the way they mix history in with their own fiction and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Every 6 months would be somewhat okay, but then again, not okay at the same time. You know, it's like when you were expecting a new Marvel movie every year. You know, it was just, and then Disney started putting out episodes and seasons and this and that, and then it became too much. Too much Assassin's Creed can happen. But if they're in development, as you know, when they release Shadows, and they're in development of a Assassin's Creed where you're, you know, in the Mayans and the Aztecs and stuff like that, every 6 months I would buy it and I'd pick it up and I'd play it because I would love to know where they're telling their story as far as the history goes.
Yeah.
But for the most people, it would be too much at one time, too much over a period of time, because that's a lot of fucking Assassin's Creed. That's a lot of gameplay, and that's a lot of the same game over and over and over and over. But me personally, I would buy it every 6 months because I love the game. But for the most part, it would be a lot of people would be desensitized of it and wouldn't even bother picking it up after 6 months and after 6 months. So
Yeah. Well, I'll say this, coming from somebody that is a huge Assassin's Creed fan like Bolts, right now at this point in time, we have Shadows coming out February 14th, and then we still have Assassin's Creed Infinity, which is, who knows exactly what that's going to be. It's this was sourced through Games Radar. It says Assassin's Creed Infinity is difficult to explain, but it could have a transformative impact on the way that you interact with Assassin's Creed games in the future. Ubisoft has relatively built an interactive hub, so it's like a hub basically that sets you up to where you're in the Animus and it's interactive. So that's not really a game. But then they also have Assassin's Creed Codename Hex, which is supposed to be like some type of like a thriller horror type Assassin's Creed. Then they have Assassin's Creed Jade, which is supposed to be coming to Android and iOS. And then they have Assassin's Creed Invictus, which is basically trying to bring back some type of multiplayer aspect. So that's what they have on the slate pipeline publicly. Okay, so and that's what they've talked about before, which, I knew about Jade. I knew about, Hex. Of course, I knew about, Shadows. Now, I'm excited to see what Hex brings to the plate whenever it comes down to some type of new horror experience. And I'm excited to play Shadows. I know a lot of people have had hate around it, but I'm excited to see what this game is going to really bring whenever it does launch at the beginning of next year. I am worried, though. I am worried in the perspective that there's a ton of Ubisoft studios out there, okay? A ton. And yes, you could make every single Ubisoft studio work on Assassin's Creed game. But as we have seen with previous studios that have multiple studios out there, Gotham Knights, when certain games are linked in the same exact universe, just because they're from sister studios does not mean they're going to be the same exact enjoyable experience. Okay. So I do have my worries and I have my concerns that it's just getting down to the point of like, hey, let's try and release this in the Assassin's Creed universe because we know it's going to be it's going to be great for sales and it's going to give us a broader scope of like, us stretching out our investment in these studios. Like we've invested into 17 studios. So let's get every single studio working on Assassin's Creed games instead of working on multiple different things. So I don't know, man. I have my worries. I do. What about you, Toaster?
No.
Straight out, no. They should not do it.
I think that's a dumb idea.
Yeah.
It's going to dilute the brand, to a point that Bolt said. Bolts, you might be a fan, but if they're, right. It's the same thing. I love Marvel movies. I love them. I love comic book movies. I can sit through Green Lantern and be like, yeah. But I got to the point with the Marvel stuff where I was just like, oh, another Marvel movie or another Marvel show I need to watch. Like, I used to be super excited for that stuff, but with Agatha all along, it's so far has been a great show, and I'm kind of sorry I slept on it, but I wasn't like, yeah, I need to go watch this,
right?
Because I just got drowned in Marvel shit, and I think Disney's finally started to realize that, and I really don't want to see that happen to the Assassin's Creed franchise. I got. With Assassin's Creed Odyssey, it was be careful what you wish for. That game is massive. Man, the expansions were massive.
But it's so good.
It's so good, but it just got to the point where I was like, oh my God, I'm never going to finish this game. And at that point in time, I was like, it's wonderful. It's beautifully written. Cassandra, the voice actress, she's amazing. I've had so much fun, but I'm just tired of running around. And one thing that has always kind of bugged me about Black Flag, Origin, Odyssey, and Valhalla is, to me, they kind of got away from what made Assassin's Creed. I will always be a fan of what was his name, Ibn al-Lahad, in the first game. You know, like just that story-driven city exploration, you know, and then even with Ezio, those were great games. Like that, you know, the Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, like all of them. And then, I mean, they're fun. Don't get me wrong. Like I really liked Syndicate.
Yeah.
You know, especially when you got the grapple, because then it turned into Gotham by Gaslight to me.
Yeah, it did.
You know, and you know, I can't wait to see you know, what Shadows is going to be like. I'm really interested in Shadows because, and you know, this is going to be a blessing and a curse to Ubisoft because of Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
You know, Ghost of Tsushima has set the bar. It's Ubi's responsibility to either meet that or exceed that bar. And now they got an even harder time doing it because of the Ghost of Yodi.
Yeah.
You know, so like, I really think if you're going to ride on the success of the IPs that made your company, you know, Ubisoft's case, Prince of Persia, Assassin's Creed, don't do anything to dilute those franchises. Sure, you know what? Come up with the mobile games. People love those.
Yeah.
You know, but don't let those take away from the work you're doing on the major titles that your studios are founded on.
And you know, I so agree with that, Toaster, because like I think what Ubisoft has been doing so far has been great. You know, they're making certain games for certain systems. They're making mobile titles. They're making games that work directly with they're working directly with Nintendo and making, you know, Mario Sparking or Mario Spark something. I can't even remember the name of it, but it was like them and the Rabbids, you know, and like do that. Like make Rayman games that are for mobile and Nintendo, whatever. Focus your big studios on big heavy hitters. We've already seen where this goes in the past, to where it becomes non-enjoyable experiences that not only people don't enjoy, but it ends up shuttering studios. It ends up getting to the point to where people that are very talented end up losing their positions because there's such a heavy investment in these studios, and there's no drawback. They don't make their sales. They don't make their numbers. They don't make this and that. And it drops. You know what I'm saying? So
the other thing is too, and this goes back to the whole CEOs and shareholders speech, is, you know, those people need to trust in their dev teams.
Yeah.
You know, that whole relationship has to be symbiotic. Yes, you need the money, you need the investors, but the investors need to trust. You know, and you know, if you're somebody that's going in and you had an indie studio sell you on a game because of the presentation they brought you or whatever, and you're just like, yes, or you know, how it happened with like Secret Ponchos, where PlayStation just happened to be walking past that booth at E3 and fell in love with the game, and next thing you know, Yusuf and his team are all, you know, flying out to do a presentation in front of Sony, you know, stuff like that. And like, you know, if you had that much interest when you saw what 3 people in a dark room built, you know, just alone, and now you're giving them the tools that they need to truly succeed, sit back and let them succeed.
Yeah.
You know, like let them grow the product that caught your eye.
Yeah.
And, you know, gamers need to understand, we're all, you know, if a game is great, we're going to want more.
Yeah.
You know, but we're not going to get a good product unless we understand that we need to wait and be patient and wait for something to be done. You know, there's all the jokes about, oh my God, I bought Black Ops 6, I brought home and I was going to play it tonight, but now there's a 30 gig patch. But yeah, it's because you were sitting there selling death threats to the guy's family because of the last time they delayed a game.
Yep.
So now they're putting out unfinished product and you need to wait.
You don't need to be playing golf at 8:40 at night. Okay? Just go build your Legos or something like that. We're almost done with this podcast. You'll be fine. Bubba. Just go. Go. I agree with both of you guys. Will you pick it up and take it? Shared space, man. So, yeah. Bubba, shut the door. So I agree with both of you guys, and I think it really cuts down to the CEOs need to have trust in their development studios, but also these investors need to have trust in the studios as well. Give them time to make great decisions and great masterpieces that we have seen. I will say this: Assassin's Creed Valhalla is a work of art. It is a work of art. I don't feel it is an Assassin's Creed game because after years since it released, going back and playing it, I feel like it was more of a Viking simulator than it is an Assassin's Creed game.
It depends how you play it, bro. Just saying.
I know it is, but I'm stating in the fact of though it wasn't something that was just 100% involved in the Creed and all this other stuff. It had so much depth into that game. The game is so fucking big. You talk about Odyssey being big. Valhalla is so large and there's so much to do. I still to this day have not completed every bit of Valhalla. Especially with all the DLC. I know you have, Bolts. You've put 400 hours in the game.
Twice. You gotta play as a female too.
Yeah. So it's crazy to me, man. It really is. But I will tell you where I got excited for Ubisoft and seeing that they're taking things kind of back to basis was with Assassin's Creed Mirage. It is a great Assassin's Creed experience that really brings things back home to what was great about the original series of telling a story of a man that had the world on his shoulders and he had to do everything he could to stay true to who he is. You know what I'm saying? That's what was great about Mirage. Mirage really brought it home and felt like I know you're going to disagree with me, Bulls. I know. Go ahead, say it.
No, I wasn't going to disagree with you.
What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, I bet halfway through it, I lost interest in it. I really did.
Crazy.
Of course, I played it. I finished it because it's an Assassin's Creed game, and I absolutely loved it. But it was just to me, and of course, the first Assassin's Creed, the second Assassin's Creed were gems. The first one, of course, was rough as it was. Of course. And the second one is a masterpiece.
The second one was a masterpiece. Yeah.
Yeah. And the third one is great in its own way.
Yeah.
And then, of course, after that, they started slowly branching into more of an open world.
Yeah.
And of course, Black Flag came out, and that's my masterpiece.
I just did not like the way,
bro.
That
I'm telling
an assassin. How did you get that? I just murdered somebody and took their clothes. You're an assassin now.
Yeah. How does it feel now, Bolts? Huh?
We all make mistakes, Caleb. We all make mistakes.
No, anyways, but this is pretty much it, guys. Second Opinion Podcast, episode 370. We hope you have a great Halloween. Make sure to check for those razor blades. Okay? Check for...
And people,
look at them.
Nobody is giving your kid weed candy. Stop it. Nobody.
No drug dealer is giving away drugs. Are you kidding me?
How did that person on episode 1, the alien or whatever, how did they say those droids? What did they call them?
Oh God. It starts with the D. Decagon droid? No.
No. Nope. Let me see.
No. It starts with the D. I know it is.
Of course you would think it starts with the D.
It ends with the D too.
God. Closing thoughts. Is there any closing thoughts for this episode?
Hey, I will say this. Naughty Dog apparently is having a sci-fi open world game that's coming out that's supposed to be kind of comparable to Cyberpunk 2077.
Naughty Dog?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Droidicons.
Droidicons, there you go.
Yeah.
It starts with the D, what'd I tell you?
Yeah.
Droidicons. Look at it, and ends with the D. Huh. Got it. Yeah,
they're taking out the joint cards.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, the way they
some
said
of the
it, and
worst.
like that thing.
Listen, we're some of the worst species ever in Star Wars.
Right.
They're just like,
had like thing in their mouth. You know, like those pipes and stuff coming out. They're taking out the joint cards. I'm like, bro, come on.
But yeah, I just saw it on the headline. I think it flashed over either Facebook or when I was looking at stuff online the other day. But yeah, it popped up open about Naughty Dog. I was like, well, that'd be good.
Wow. Yeah, that would be good. I mean, Naughty Dog just does some unbelievably amazing work. Toaster, you have any closing thoughts?
The intro to Uncharted 2 is the longest tutorial in any game I've ever played.
Man,
that whole time running around is like Drake is a little kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's like it was like a good 30 minutes of tutorial, and I was just like, this why?
God,
it's like the intro to fucking Eulogy by Tool. Great song, 5-minute fucking intro.
That's too much. Man. That's too much.
It is. Man, I just heard about this sad news. Sad kind of news. There's been some more industry layoffs as of today, and the people affected are from GameSpot and Fandom. So shout outs to them. I hate to hear anybody getting laid off, especially in the writing side of the games industry, man. You know, it's already sucks enough to see devs getting affected by layoffs, but both sides, man, it's crazy. It is. I'm still shook by the Game Informer stuff, man. It makes no sense to me. The games. I can't even get their name out of my mouth because they just make me sick at my stomach. And we have a company like GameStop that makes billions of dollars that would completely shut down something like Game Informer. Is crazy to me. But anyways, guys, closing thoughts. Happy Halloween to everybody. Shout outs to the people that lost their jobs as of today on these layoffs. But shout outs to both of you guys. Thank you so much for coming on to this impromptu episode of the Second Opinion podcast. I love you both very much.
Love you, bro.
I love you.
Yeah. Bolts, I'll see you soon. Toaster, I hope to see you soon.
Some things have to change in the state that you live in. Then they may go.
Hey, random shit. Hey, exactly where I'm gonna. You don't have to exactly tell me where you live.
Hey, are we gonna ride together?
What?
Are we gonna ride together to TJ's wedding?
I mean, if you need a ride, yeah.
No, Dusty and Daryl were talking about it. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you and I will be going before they will. So Dusty's not gonna ride up there with me because we'll have to get there early and get everything set, make sure everything's kosher, get dressed, all that jazz. And then she's coming up after that. She's not going to sit up there and wait for everybody. So
the worst assassin of all.
You think so?
I think so. The movie was trash, dude.
It's garbage.
What were you going to say, Toaster?
I didn't realize who that was. No. I think Bolts was going to ask me a question.
Yeah, I was. What do you live like up around Boston, that kind of area?
Yeah.
Do you? Okay. Yeah, the reason I'm asking is because I could either next year or the year after. My mom lives up there in Maryland, and we're gonna come. We're gonna come visit her. And we're gonna come up to go to Salem during Halloween and stuff like that.
Oh, and we're gonna go with you.
Oh, okay.
I'm not joking.
Okay, I'm just saying that's gonna happen, and if that happens, then I'm definitely gonna hook you up. I mean, look you up, and we're gonna.
No, you said hook up.
I'm down, but you know,
I'm married. My wife would be very jealous.
I'm married.
I got a weird question, Toaster. Since we're in this like off the hinge, fucking end show shit. When was your house built?
27.
The one I'm staying in now?
Yeah,
like 1900 and haunted.
I could tell from the door. I look at that door.
That door's 10 feet tall and weighs 937 pounds.
It was made by 15 men.
That's right.
No, dude, it's no joke. Like some of the houses in this area, especially if you go out to Cape Cod. One of the stores that I work for, we had a vendor out there trying to mount the access reader to a door frame. And that dude had probably a good 30, 40 pounds and like 5 or 6 inches on me.
Yeah.
And this boy is leaning into that door frame. And that drill bit got maybe an eighth of an inch in before the wood started smoking. And he's like, what the is this house made out of? I'm like, that's that old growth oak, man.
Yeah, buddy.
Like 1700. You ain't getting through that.
Yeah. Oh my god!
Like, have you ever heard of old Ironsides? He's like, yeah, the boat. I'm like, yeah, it's made of wood, but cannonballs still bounced off the fucking hull. That's why it's old Ironsides.
Yeah. No, I'd see your door on the last episode, and I was like, man, he lives in an old house. The only reason I could tell that is because my grandparents.
The thing is, like, I love that look. If I could find
me too. Yeah,
like that, like with that aesthetic, I love it.
Yeah, me too.
But I don't have a cool mill just chilling to get a house with. So
ain't that the fucking truth,
man? Well, I love you guys so much. Thanks for tuning into this episode.